friends, welcome back to Acre Homestead. My name is Becky. If you're new, welcome. We are going to be making homemade powdered sugar today. It could not be easier. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to show you how to make it, and then I'm going to explain to you why you might want to learn how to make your own homemade powdered sugar. The only ingredient you need to make powdered sugar is sugar. And then optionally, you can use cornstarch or tapioca starch, and I'll get into that when we get to that step. You can use any kind of granular sugar you want. Today I'm using organic cane sugar. This is a 2-cup measure, and I'm going to put it into my blender, and we're going to turn it on. It's important not to overload your blender when making powdered sugar. In my high-powered blender, I use 2 cups, and that's as most as I will go in one session. If you don't have a high-powered blender, you still should be able to make this no problem. Just use maybe starting with 1.5 cups. I do like to fluff it just at least once or twice while I'm blending it to make sure there's no sugar that's stuck in the corners, and I keep going. It did take me about 5 minutes in my blender in order to have it turn into this beautiful powdered sugar. That is all you have to do to make powdered sugar. You can use this right away if you needed this for a recipe right away, but if you don't want it to clump on you, then it's recommended that you add 1 tablespoon of the starch of your choice. Most commonly would be cornstarch. I'm going to use tapioca starch. Now this is an optional step. This powdered sugar I made 3 weeks ago, and it is not clumpy at all, and this does not have any cornstarch. This is just sugar blended up in the blender. I don't have any plans to use powdered sugar anytime soon, so this time I am going to go ahead and I am going to add the starch to it. The reason I pre-measured my sugar was so that I would know how many tablespoons to put in here. We did 2 cups of sugar, so 2 tablespoons of the starch of your choice. And there's our powdered sugar. So let's talk about why we might want to learn how to make our own homemade powdered sugar. The reason why I learned how to make powdered sugar the first time was because I ran out of powdered sugar and I needed it, and I didn't feel like running to the grocery store. So I did a quick Google search, I learned how to do it, and now I know how to do it. So number 1 reason, it's empowering to know how to make your own things at home instead of having to run to the store to go buy it. Number 2, and this is a huge one for me now, is I can control the ingredients. I know exactly what went into this. It's organic cane sugar and organic tapioca starch. It is extremely expensive to buy organic powdered sugar in the grocery store, and I can make it for a fraction of that cost. So I guess that's a third extra benefit. Most of your powdered sugars in the grocery store have GMO crops in them. If you look at the back of your powdered sugar in the grocery store, typically the name brand says cane sugar and cornstarch. Sugar cane is not a GMO crop, but corn is most definitely a GMO crop. And if you buy the generic brand, typically if you look at the back of the label, it says sugar and cornstarch. If it doesn't specify cane sugar and the ingredients just say sugar, then it's probably made with sugar beets, which is a GMO crop. And then it also has cornstarch in it, which is also a GMO crop. So if those are things that are important to you to try to avoid, then making your own, you can avoid those and you can save yourself a ton of money. Like I said, organic powdered sugar is extremely expensive, and this is pennies to the dollar to make it yourself. And it only takes a few minutes, and you can make a big batch and put it in your container, and it'll be ready for you whenever you need it. I wanted to mention that I do buy my sugar in a 50-pound bag. I buy 50 pounds of organic cane sugar at a time, and I can link down in the description box where I get my sugar from if that's something you're interested in. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to know how to make your own homemade brown sugar, I can put a video right there where you can go watch and learn how to make your own homemade brown sugar. If you want to see me make a bunch of pastries and cookies with all of this good sweetness, I'll put a video down here and you can go enjoy that. If you found value in this and you know anybody who might enjoy learning how to make their own homemade powdered sugar, please consider sharing it or giving it a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye guys!